Hello students. In this class, we are going to study about magnetization and magnetic intensity. But before we get into those concepts, we need to know a few other things. So let's quickly revise what was the cause of magnetism in different materials. We had seen this in previous chapter. Now you know that any matter is made up of atoms, and atoms are made up of electrons. Now these electrons are continuously moving along the positively charged nucleus in circular orbits. If there are moving electrons, that means there are moving charges and they constitute a current. And we had seen in the last class also that if we have a current loop, it acts as a magnetic dipole having some magnetic moment, which we call it as magnetic dipole moment. M, small m orbital we had called it, right? So I've just written m right now. So m is equal to I, that is the current, and A is the area enclosed by the loop. And what is the direction of this magnetic dipole moment? It is acting from south to north. Okay, so if we have this loop where current is flowing in this direction, I can show the magnetic dipole moment or the atomic dipole or magnetic dipole in this direction. Okay, so this is showing the magnetic dipole. Now, in the last class we had studied about the orbital magnetic moment, but we did discuss about the spin moment, is it not? So the magnetic moment of an atom is because of the orbital motion of the electron and also the spin motion of the electron. So the net magnetic moment of an atom is combination of both this orbital motion and spin motion. We have to find the net magnetic moment because of these two motions. Okay, so now I'm just going to consider the resultant magnetic moment of an atom, and I'll be indicating it in a given direction like this. So just this arrow is going to indicate a magnetic moment or a magnetic dipole or an atomic dipole. That is how we are going to refer to it. Okay, now it can be seen that in many of the atoms which have paired electrons, okay, for example this helium, it has two electrons and both are in the first orbit, so they are called as the paired electrons. How are the dipole moments because of these two electrons? One is acting in the upward direction and another is acting in the downward direction. So the magnetic moments are getting cancelled. Magnetic moments are getting cancelled, is it not? So I say that the magnetic moment of this helium is zero because it has paired electrons, and because of which the magnetic moment has become zero, right? Such materials are called as diamagnetic moment or diamagnetic materials. There are other two type of materials also, paramagnetic and ferromagnetic. You will be studying more about this diamagnetic, paramagnetic, ferromagnetic materials in the coming lectures. Okay, right now we are not bothered about it. Okay, so I have a certain material, it can be any material, okay, and I have shown the magnetic dipoles which are oriented randomly. If you just have one atom, I can show the atomic dipole by just showing one arrow. But if I have a slab of material, say 5 centimeter by 5 centimeter material I have, it is going to contain so many, nearly 10 to the power of 20, 30. So many atoms are present in that particular material, is it not? So, and the atomic dipoles are oriented randomly. All will not be pointing in the same direction. They are randomly oriented as shown in this particular diagram. See, few are acting upwards, few are acting downwards, few are towards right, few are towards left. Is it not? So all are randomly oriented. So if I try to find the net magnetic moment, how much is the magnetic moment of this particular material, which is including this 10 to the power of 30 atoms, okay, you see that the net magnetic moment is 0, because few dipoles are acting upward, few are downward, few are to the right, few are to the left. So the net magnetic moment of this material is going to be 0. Is it not? Now, if I place this particular block in a magnetic field, I apply an external magnetic field on this particular block, then what is going to happen to the magnetic moment or to this dipoles? You will see that this magnetic dipoles or the atomic dipoles will try to get aligned along the magnetic field. Okay, earlier they were randomly oriented. Now when there is a magnetic field, they will experience a force. This force is called what? It is called as torque. In electrostatics, you had studied about torque acting on an electric dipole, okay, when it is placed in an external electric field. So same thing is happening over here. When you place atomic dipoles in an external magnetic field, they experience an torque. So this torque is going to try and align them along the direction of the magnetic field, external magnetic field. So what will happen? They are not going to all be along the same direction as the magnetic field, but slowly they will change their direction towards this. Okay, so now the net magnetic moment is not equal to 0. There will be some magnetic moment because of this change in alignment of this atomic dipoles. Okay, do you get my point? So what can I say? I say that this material is now magnetized. This material is magnetized because these atomic dipoles have aligned themselves. They are trying to align in the direction of this magnetic field. Is it not? So this material is magnetized. Now the important point to note over here is that the net magnetic field inside this material, okay, inside this material, what is the net magnetic field? It is going to be greater than the external magnetic field. If there is some external magnetic field, that field is passing through the material, and that atomic dipoles are also creating some magnetic field. So the magnetic field inside is greater than the external magnetic field. Okay, now let's see understanding this. Remember this point because we will need it later when we study magnetic intensity. Okay, so now let's see what is this magnetization vector. Okay, you saw that when we had a slab of material whose net magnetic moment was 0, we placed it in a magnetic field. The dipoles tried to align themselves along the direction of the magnetic field, and we said that the material got magnetized. It got magnetized. So how do you measure this magnetization? By using this magnetization vector. Okay, so magnetization vector is denoted by m bar. And what is m bar equal to? M net. What is this m net? M net is the magnetic moment, the net magnetic moment, because of orbital, because of spin, whatever reasons. Whatever is the reason, this magnetic dipole moment is the net dipole moment divided by the volume. Divided by the volume. So I get it as, or this magnetic moment is what? Current into the area upon volume. So what will be the unit of this magnetization vector? Magnetization vector will have a unit. A is the unit for current, meter square for area, meter cube is volume. So this meter square and meter cube, mm will get cancelled and you will just get ampere per meter. So unit of magnetization vector is ampere per meter. Okay. Now let's see the next term, that is the magnetic intensity. Magnetic intensity. Now understand one thing. Okay. So we had an external magnetic field which is causing this magnetization. Now suppose I want to measure the net magnetic field inside this material. So I told you to remember this particular point, that net magnetic field inside a material is going to be greater than the external magnetic field. Why? Because this external magnetic field is there which is causing the magnetization. So I can also call this as the magnetizing field. See, I have applied this external magnetic field, and because of this the dipoles or the material has got magnetized. Dipoles have got aligned and the material has got magnetized. Material is magnetized, is it not? So I can call this external field as the magnetizing field. I can call it as the magnetizing field, and I'm going to denote it by H. Okay, this field is dependent on what? The magnetic intensity. What is the intensity? That intensity we are denoting by H bar. Okay, so the magnetizing field intensity, we call it as H bar. Now the field inside the material, the field inside, see what is this field inside? It is because of this external magnetic field that we have applied, and also because of the alignment of the dipole. So it is addition of these two, is it not? So if B, I have denoted the net magnetic field inside the material as B. What is it proportional to? It is proportional to the external magnetic field intensity, that is H, and also our magnetization vector. Magnetization is because of what? This dipole alignment. So this B is proportional to magnetization vector plus the magnetic intensity vector. Now this proportionality sign I can remove by putting mu naught. Mu naught is what? Permeability. Permeability of free space is mu naught. Okay, so B is equal to mu naught M plus mu naught H. I can write it this way, or from this particular equation I can write, or I can get the equation for the magnetizing field intensity H as B upon mu naught minus M. Okay, from this particular equation I have got it. Mu naught comes to the denominator, B upon mu naught is equal to M plus H, then M goes on the other side. So you get H is equal to B upon mu naught minus M. What will be the unit of H? The unit is going to be same as M, because only then you can add these two quantities, is it not? H and M are going to have the same unit, that is ampere per meter. Ampere per meter. Now, okay, so once we have done this, we need to know one more term, that is the magnetic susceptibility. Magnetic susceptibility. What does that mean? It is denoted by this particular symbol. It is called as psi. You call it as psi. Psi is the magnetic susceptibility. Okay. In English also, what does susceptible mean? How much prone you are to. Like if some person has some allergy, say dust allergy, he is more susceptible to some dust infection or some lung infection, is it not? He is more prone to sneeze or cough, right? It's maybe corona effect that I'm taking such an example. So that itself is susceptible meaning. Now when we say magnetic susceptibility, it means how much prone is a material to getting magnetized. So more is the susceptibility, more it will get magnetized. If it is, the susceptibility is less, it will get magnetized less. So diamagnetic materials have negative susceptibility. Ferromagnetic materials have very high susceptibility. because they are more susceptible to getting magnetized. Okay, so that is what is meant by susceptibility. Now, how do I find this susceptibility? We had seen that how this material, how this dipoles, how much they are getting aligned will depend on what? It is depending on the external magnetic field. Is it not? This alignment or the magnetization vector, this magnetization vector means how much the dipoles are getting aligned. What does it depend on? It depends on two things. It depends on the temperature of the sample or the temperature of the material and the external magnetic field. External magnetic field. If the external magnetic field is more, alignment is more. Okay, and what have we called this external magnetic field as? H. So we see that magnetization vector m bar is depending on h bar. So if h increases, the external field intensity increases, this magnetization vector is also going to increase. So m is proportional to h, and I can replace that proportionality sign by psi. What is psi? The magnetic susceptibility. So psi is equal to m upon h. M upon h. Right? So I can substitute this in our equation. We had got this equation, is it not? That B is equal to mu naught into m plus h. So in place of m, I have put psi into h. So psi into h plus h. So h comes out, I have psi plus 1. Okay. So this psi plus 1 is nothing but the relative permeability. It is the relative permeability. See, you can just think, or you can compare it to if there would have been no medium at all. If there was no material, there is just magnetic field. Then what is that external magnetic field denoted by? I have it as mu naught h. B bar is equal to mu naught h bar. Now I have got a relation B is equal to mu naught psi plus 1 into h. Right? This is for a material. This is for a material. For free space, or when no material was placed, I had mu naught or the permeability for free space. So now this should be what? By comparing the two equations, I should have this bracket or this box should be the permeability of that particular medium. Magnetic field inside the material is equal to permeability of that material into H. See, that is what I have written over here. Okay, so when I get B is equal to mu into H, this mu is the permeability of that material. And what is that giving us? Magnetic field inside that particular material. Right? And so we have got the formula, this mu is equal to mu naught into mu r. Mu naught is permeability of free space and mu r is the relative permeability. Okay, so you should be knowing all these formulas. These are all very important formulas. Okay, you will get problems based on this. So in the next class, we will be studying about the problems based on this magnetic susceptibility, magnetic intensity and magnetization vector. Okay, thank you.